too. So third gear the whole entire track, fourth gear down the straightaway, and that's all you'll need.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you'll never need second, you'll never need fifth, really. And so the really kind of biggest aspect with the mid-engine cars, or just the biggest challenge I see that mostly people have kind of driving this or the GT3, really just like you're saying with the mid-engine aspect, once you kind of get to those like high speeds where you're doing like 80, 90 miles per hour into the corner, the car's a lot more sensitive to what you're doing with the weight of the car. What I mean by like the accelerating, braking, and the steering. What I mean at the start is like, this car is going to feel very, very light on the front end with the V8 behind you now.
Right.
So once you're braking in a straight line, you want to compress the front tires and put all the weight on the front end. And then when you turn into the corner, kind of like a string is tied to the bottom of the wheel to your right foot. This is where people kind of struggle a little bit, is when you turn in the corner, kind of think of like a string is pulling your foot off the brake, so you're like slowly releasing the brake as you turn into the corner. As opposed to like slowly coming to the brake on the stoplight and then kind of releasing it.
So load up on the brake into the turn and then let it out and switch over to the gas?
Right, exactly. Kind of almost like you're riding the brake into the corner a little bit.
Okay.
The common mistake a lot of people have with this car and the GT3 is they'll brake pretty good in a straight line, but before they begin to turn in the corner, they snap off the brake quickly and then turn.
Right.
And then the car, it's called understeers. It just goes straight. As much as you steer, it just keeps going straight on you. Just because the front of the car is so light with the engine behind you, basically,
right.
is all.
Okay.
Yeah, so the biggest trick to these two is just kind of keeping the weight on the front of the car at the brake. Making sure you're trying to get as tight as you can to the apex and those two green cones on the inside, and then from when you come out of the corner, that's where you can apply, the throttle back in.
So
right there.
Once I get past the apex, I can switch to the throttle?
Right, exactly. You don't want to get on the throttle too early before the apex there, because again, if you're trying to steer down to the apex, those two green cones there, and let's say you start getting on the throttle about like quarter to half throttle, what you're going to feel is the car's going to lift up on the front end, and kind of like wheeling a street bike or dirt bike, you can't steer as much.
Yes.
So it's going to kind of push you out of the corner, and the car will stop, steering right there.
Yeah.
So once you actually do get to the apex on the inside, that's technically where you're done steering, so that's where you can kind of accelerate back out right there, if that makes sense.
So you're unwinding letting off the steering wheel and let the gas at the same time.
Exactly. Let's see, and I got that little video recording right there too. His name's with Steven, is it pronounced Mythot?
Yep.
Hey, there we go, man. We got 6 laps. So yeah, basically just kind of how I'll be guiding you around the track too with the cones. You're gonna go all the way until you see those orange cones sitting there. That's your braking zone right there. So you're gonna brake with a constant pressure until you reach that first green cone that's sitting by itself. That one's gonna be your turning point right there. So from that first green turning point, you turn in all the way down to the apex, those two green cones that are on the inside of the corner.
That's the first corner over there?
All of them will kind of have those cones right there.
Okay.
Did he kind of point them out in the...
Yeah, when we went around, yeah.
Right, yeah, so they're all going to have kind of those series of cones. So the first series braking, first green cone is going to tell you to turn into the corner there to those two green cones there.
Gotcha.
So in the end, you brake at the orange cones, but kind of follow the green cones, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen the dark spots on the pavement too.
Right, and you kind of want to follow those too. Yeah. There's some points where it's in different spots where you want to be, because mostly the dark spots from the drift car, and he kind of takes the course.
Oh, right.
Different than we do. Yeah, but for the most part, good observation. You basically follow the kind of black marks around too. Yeah. And then like you were saying too with the mirrors, I'll let you know if anybody's behind us too, and then I'll let you know when it's kind of safer to pass people too.
Yeah. The checkered parts on the inside and the outside, that's where you kind of want to cut close to them.
Right, exactly. So like he was doing when he turned on the inside of the corner to the apex there, and he was kind of trying to hit those checkered right there. Those aren't really like a guide, as far as like you don't really want to kind of try to follow those. Kind of think of those as like a drift car, let them go by. So those, the red and white are almost like an extension of the track, like a little bit more pavement in a way. So like whenever you do see that apex, those two green cones, you want to get as tight as you can on that red and white right there, for sure. Yeah. I'll point it out too as we're going.
Awesome.
Paddle shifters too, right one's up of course, left one's down. They're going to stay on the column too. Good shift point where you kind of get all your powers about 8 grand right there, once you kind of get to that kind of shifting right there too. 8
grand?
Yeah, right, okay. Kind of right at red line right there, yeah. But as far as going around the track though, did you have any kind of last questions as far as like the cones or anything like that before we get rolling though?
I don't think so.
I think so? Alright, man. It's a lot of information, I know, for sure.
Yep.
And I'll try to, walk you through as much as I can for sure. And kind of get you set up for the GT3 too. Alright, man. So to put this thing in gear, just hold the brake, pull back that right paddle. That'll put you in first gear right there.
Okay.
And let's let's see. We're okay on the right side. Just give like a little bit of throttle. That's gonna get it rolling, and we'll make like a left past this pillar right here too.
Ready to go?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, we're good here. There's just a little bump we're kind of sitting on. Yeah, there it goes.
Oh, I gotcha.
We'll kind of make a left and cruise down here too.
To the right?
Yeah, towards your left right here. We're gonna go to that last blue cone that's at the end. And we'll park next to that one. I'm just gonna check for traffic before we get rolling here too. Let's see. Yeah, nobody's out here, man. Yeah, you're good to go. So we're just gonna hug the right side of this blue line here. Yeah, you got it. One up here, and then it's just one more up. So now, so that first green, that's our turning point there.
Right.
So from here,
right.
yeah, there you are. Now tight to the apex on your right there. So now from here, straight out to the left side of the track. Now full power, man. Fast as you want to go here. There'll be one up here. Now braking right here in the orange. One down. And almost riding the brake in as you steer. Tight to your right. Now straight out to the outside edge to the green there. You got it. Now full power to the orange. And then it's braking right here. A little more brakes here. Harder. And now turning in. We're going to bring her to the right side here as you go over this hill. Just a little bit of brake here. Tight to your left on that red and white. Back to your left side here now. Woohoo! And then it's braking here with one down here with your left hand. And now turning down. We're going to turn a little later there next time. I'll kind of show you. We'll bring it to the right side. Now full power here. And now it's just a little brake. Turning in. Now accelerating here in a straight line. Now braking all the way to that turning point here. And now starting to turn tight as you can. Straight out to the left side. Full power, man. Fast as you can. There'll be one up here. Release of the brake, tight as you can. Straight out to the left side. Now full power here. And then just brake it right here for one down with your left. Now tight as you can to that apex here. We're gonna stay to the right side here over the hill. Just a little bit of brake here. And now starting to turn tight as you can. To the left side now, power, power. And then just brake it right here for now. We're gonna turn a little later about there now. What it does, it makes it more of like a straight shot basically.
I gotcha.
We'll bring it back to your right side and now full power here, man. Just a little bit of brake. Turning it now back on the power here. And then braking here to the green, waiting. Now tight as you can to the right, just a little throttle. As you unwind the wheel, just rolling in the power. You got it, full power, man. Left side, it'll be braking. We got one car doing a ride along behind us. You can downshift it once, and there he goes. You're good to go. We could get nice and tight to your right, just like he's doing. Straight out to the left side, man. Full power. We'll pass the Cayenne as well. Now braking right here. Hard now. Harder, harder. You gotta stay nice and tight to your right here. He's behind you. We'll bring it to your right side now. So just a little brake here. Tight to your left. That one we're going to turn a little later next time to kind of straighten the corner there a little bit. And then just braking with one downshift here. Now turning in tight as you can to this double green. Back to your right side here. Now full power here. Just a little bit of brake. Turning in now back on the power here. And then braking here but waiting to turn so we can have a straight shot. And now turning in tight. Straight out to the left side, full power, man. Go for it. And then just one upshift here. Just braking right here for one down with your left hand. Easing off the brake in tight as you can. Ending up at that outside edge, just like he's doing. And just braking right here for just like he's doing. Easing it into that next apex. Over this hill, we're going to turn a little later. I'll kind of show you. So we're going to wait for this first green a little more about there now. He should be able to see us soon. There you go, right side. Go ahead and pass him, man. And it's just braking right here. He's still next to us. We're just going to add a little bit more steering. It's going to feel a little sharper now. We're going to bring it back to your right side here now. And it's just a little brake here. Turning it now back on the power. Braking and waiting for that turning point here. You got it tight as you can. as you unwind the wheel, just rolling into power. You got it, man. Perfect. It's braking right here. A little bit harder brakes, one down. Add a little more steering in. It's all good, no worries. Next time, just try to brake a little harder initially, and that'll kind of help keep her stable there. And then just brake it right here. So firm brake initially, now slowly coming off of it there. You got it. Now to your right side here. And just a little bit of brake to your right. Tight to your left on that right and white. Straight out to the center. Now power, power. You got it. Perfect. So braking it firm initially. Nice, smooth release. Tight to your right. To the right side here. You're going to hug your right side here. Just a little bit of brake. Turning in now. Back on the power here. Waiting for that next turning point. Now it's tight as you can on this next apex. Using all the track back out. Go for it, man. There'll just be one up here. And then braking right here firm. Now hard initially. Nice, smooth release now. Add a little more steering. Straight out to your left side, just like he's doing. It's just braking right here. Here, one down here, easing her in on that next apex. Now just rolling in the power to your right side. Little bit of brake here, tight to your left on that next apex. To the orange, full power. One last time here, man. And then it's braking right here. And that was actually our last time around right there too, man. So we're gonna be exiting up here straight as you're going.
Straight?
Yeah, you got it. And we're gonna kind of follow this path back in, kind of where we took it from too.
Right there.
And they'll be, yeah, left kind of past these barriers right here too. All right, what'd you think though?
Good job, man.
There you go, man. Oh, there we go. Glad you had a good time with her. We'll go straight down here too.
Got a little wiry there.
A little bit towards the end. It's all good.
That's all right. That's what we do, right?
Right. We'll go to the first row, kind of closest to the building here too.
All right.
And we'll make a right and kind of cruise down here too. And then we'll park at number 6 or number 5 right there. Either one of those spots should be perfect. Yeah, the reason why she was kind of finding you a little bit there is when you first got on the brake, kind of at that high speed down the straightaway right there, you were braking at, let's say, like a 40 to 50% pressure, and then you were kind of adding the brake in. And so by the time when you were kind of adding the brake in, that's where you're beginning to steer into the corner. So you were braking firmly, having the weight go to the front and steer. So that's why I was kind of going like that on you. So just down the straightaway, once you're in the GT3 and you begin braking, try to have like kind of like reversing the motion coming to a stoplight. Like as opposed to kind of slowly coming onto it to a stop. You kind of put everybody in the dashboard and then slowly come off of it. What that's going to do is before you begin turning into the corner, you want to basically try to get all your braking or slowing down done in a straight line, so that so the car won't try to go in 2 different directions. The weight on the front to the side, and it'll kind of stop that kind of where it kind of walks on you a little bit in the corner there is all. Yeah.
Very cool.
And you can release the brake if you're on it too, man. It should be okay.
I am on the brake.
Oh, you're on it? Yeah, you can release it here, man. Yeah, and it'll be okay. It'll roll up to this little wheel chock right here too, and it should stop. There it goes. All right. The only other thing I'd say that would kind of help you out as far as like getting a little more speed around the track with the Porsche is, those first green cones that are sitting there, and you kind of want to wait to turn until you reach those. So sometimes you were turning about like 10 to 20 feet before them, and what that does is, let's say if you turn at that first green cone into the corner, you're going to have to turn maybe this much to make it. But if you turn a little bit earlier, it's going to feel a little bit sharper, so you got to turn, let's say, about like that much to make it.
So hold off a little bit.
Little bit, yeah. That's the first most common thing too, as far as once people learn to go around a track too.
Yeah.
Reason being, we're just programmed like, once the road starts moving, we got to follow it.
Right.
So just waiting a little bit longer to that first turning point, it'll make the corner a little less sharp in the end is all too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be able to carry a little more speed through because you won't have to steer as much to make the corner too.
Yeah. It kind of comes up and it kind of like the road kind of lifts a little bit, and then you kind of get off way to the right.
Right.
That one, yeah. That was, okay, I got it.
Kind of felt it.
I didn't want to get so close to the blue.
Right, which is all good.
Yeah.
If you kind of go into a little bit, it's okay. But it's mostly like if you're like way into it, it's like, okay, you're really off the track right now, pretty much. But do you remember on this last corner right here, it's kind of the sharp right-hander right there?
Yeah.
Do you remember how it was almost pushing you, like you're saying, kind of almost like off the track right there?
Yeah.
That's because you turned in very early onto that one.
Yeah.
The earlier you turn into the corner, the earlier you're gonna exit the corner too.
Yeah. The one time we passed the Corvette in that corner, right?
Yeah, that was on. I think that was. What corner was that again? I don't remember. I think it was the last one. Yeah, that was the last one.
It
right
was.
here.
Yeah.
It was.
So I kind of took it in further to the right than I wanted to because I was passing the Corvette.
Right, and that's what made it kind of feel so sharp right there when you kind of come out of the corner.
Yeah.
That's the whole. That's basically like an example of like the turning in early right there, like an exaggerated one, if that makes sense. Yeah. So just so that one, just waiting, just that hair long for that first green, and then the corner she'll be a little bit sharper right there, or straighter right there for you is all. Yeah. Cool. Did you have any kind of questions though as far as going around the track though or anything like that?
No, not that I think of. I mean, like I said, I think I had fun.
That's all that matters.
I had fun. I probably pushed it more than I would have with you in the passenger seat.
That's always a good thing,
that's
though, right?
what I wanted.
That's the reason why you're here, though, right? There you go, man. Glad you had a good time with this one.
I did.
I'll grab you this little video card. It just takes a second to load, and then you just check into that pit lane. They'll get you in rolling for